In this video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to replace the wheel hub assembly on the passenger side front of a Chevy Colorado. This happens to be a 2021 model. This should be exactly the same for about 2015 to 2022. For some reason, these wheel hub assemblies don't last long in Colorados. I don't know if it's a factory defect or maybe a supplier issue. But we're going to get this changed out and get this vehicle back on the road. I'll give you all the torque specs. We're going to go step by step so you can easily do this in your own garage. Save yourself some time and money by not going to the dealership. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, whatever wheel you're not doing, you want some cardboard underneath the tire, because if you need to turn the wheel left or right to get to a bolt easier, it's a lot easier for the tire to slide on cardboard than on concrete or blacktop. Got the jack underneath the truck. I've got it jacked up just a little bit to relieve pressure. But we're going to loosen up all the lug nuts first before we jack it up all the way. And for that we need a 22 millimeter socket. Jack the vehicle up all the way so that the tire is off the ground. I've installed a jack stand. And now we'll just finish taking off all the lug nuts with an electric ratchet. And I like to slide the wheel underneath the front of the vehicle just for a third added safety support. You remove that brake caliper, the brake pads, and the rotor. And this will be slightly easier if we turn the tire to the left. That's going to bring this out, and then we'll have access to the bolts a little bit better. So with that cardboard underneath the tire over there, it turns really easy. And now we have access to the bolts just a little bit easier than if it was straight. Nut right here, and I'm gonna go show you a little trick to do that. Get a heavy duty screwdriver, and we're gonna drop it down in between the vanes on that disc. To loosen the axle nut, you're gonna need a 35 millimeter socket. This is a much easier and quicker way to loosen this up now before you take the disc brake off. This is gonna be extremely tight. You don't want to take it all the way off, but just get it pretty loose. And then you'll see why you put the screwdriver down in there, because as I loosen this up, nothing turns. Otherwise, the whole wheel would be turning. Now we're going to take the caliper off. So we have two bolts right here and here, and you're going to need a 12 millimeter socket. Just go ahead and take those off. Then your caliper should lift straight off. Now you don't want to leave your caliper hanging. Everybody's got some zip ties, so just zip tie it up and out of the way. Now we need to remove the caliper bracket, and that's held on by two 18 millimeter bolts. Go ahead and loosen it up with a ratchet, and then we can just spin them off with the electric. Remove the disc, you're going to have a T30 screw right here. Just go ahead and loosen this up. And once that's off, you can pull the disc off. And now we can remove that axle nut. Your hub is probably still going to turn even though you got it really loose. Just hold on to it a little bit and finish taking off the axle nut. Now you'll see that there's two bolts, top and bottom, on the wheel hub. We're going to grab some knocker loose or some rust penetrant, and we're going to spray it on those threads. I prefer to use knocker loose. It just seems to work better than any other rust penetrant to me. So we're just going to spray that on all four of those bolts and let it soak for about 20 minutes. Now while the rust penetrant is soaking, we're going to go ahead and knock the axle back. This needs to come back a little bit. There is a washer inside here, so whenever we knock it back, we're going to pull that washer out. Make sure you use a plastic hammer. Now if yours is really rusty or it's not moving with the plastic hammer, you can thread the axle nut back on, thread it on most of the way, and then you can use a metal hammer. To remove that washer, you can just use a little magnet, and we're going to reuse that washer later. Now you can push the axle in, push it in as far as you can, and then what I do is I just wedge a screwdriver in there, and then as you can see, you have plenty of clearance with a socket to get all your bolts out. So you want to use a short socket with a 3-inch extension, and then that clears everything on that CV axle, so nothing is hitting, and you can take the bolts right out. And then same system there on the top. This way it clears everything. And then once you got them loose, you can go ahead and zip them out with the electric ratchet. Same thing on the bottom. Now I'm going to turn the wheel to the right to get better access to those front 2 bolts. On the front side, there is a little bit less clearance, so you can use an open end wrench like this, or you will probably have to use a swivel headed socket. On the bottom bolt, I found that just using a longer extension got the head of my ratchet out of the way. And to clear everything on the top side, I just added on another 3-inch extension and got everything out of the way. If for some reason yours is really rusty and you're having lots of problems, you can always loosen up and remove this steering knuckle nut, and then this whole section here will kind of fold out. That will give you a lot more clearance. Now comes the fun part, is getting the hub out. If yours is really rusty, I suggest you take a large hammer and you can hit it from the back side like this and just kind of work it around. You might need to bend your brake shield a little bit, and then just keep hammering from the back side. Another way to remove it, put your disc brake on, kind of inside out or upside down, however you want to call it, and put on a couple lug nuts, and then you can use your disc brake kind of as a slide hammer. So what you'll be doing is just grabbing it and keep pulling like this, and you can also use it that way as well. One thing I like about when I put the screwdriver in the back side and we kept that axle kind of pushed out, tap this a little bit to get that really tight. And then I like the disc brake method. You just kind of use it as a slide hammer and this should come right out. If you do have any bolts that didn't come out earlier, you can get them out now. And now you're going to clean up the inside of this and around the surface right here the best you can. There should be grease here, so if you do see grease, don't think that your wheel bearing is leaking. Although it could be, but there should be factory grease inside here, which there is. You're just going to clean this up as best as you can before installing the new hub. If you're having a lot of trouble getting all the oxidation and crap out of this, I recommend you use a finger sander. This is a 1/2 inch wide sanding belt, and it will get right inside there. This is what I use a lot of times to clean these out with. And one of these is really handy around the house. After all this is cleaned out the best you can, this whole surface is nice and clean. Some people will put grease inside here, just like normal all-purpose grease. Some people will put anti-seize, but I think the best thing you can put in there is ceramic brake lubricant. And we're going to rub this all inside on this surface and on this outer surface. And once those surfaces are coated, we can install our new bolts. I never reuse wheel hub bolts or axle nuts. And then you're also going to want to put some blue Loctite on, and then go ahead and push these through from the back side. So when we're going to install a new hub, I like to have the wheels straight, and then there's just a little bit less tension on the CV axle, and it almost sits in there perfectly. So if you look at the hub, you'll see the 2 bolts at the top are much closer than the 2 bolts at the bottom. So it does go in a certain way. Install your disc brake shield. Make sure that all your bolts are still sticking through. And then I like to coat the spline with some of that brake grease as well, because that's going to help the hub slide on. Because we're going to kind of slide it on, and then on the back side, just use your fingers to get all of these bolts started. And you'll have to hold the shaft from the back side, because as you push, you don't want that to go out. So once you get close, go ahead and start threading the bolts from the back side and get all 4 of them started in the hub. And now I just go around, tighten up all the bolts a little bit at a time, and the hub will just suck itself right into place. Got all these bolts back here pretty well tight. We're going to torque them to 96 foot-pounds. Now we can remove that screwdriver in the back. That will allow the axle to come forward. Now we can reinstall that washer. We're going to install a new axle nut with blue thread locker. And at this point, all we're going to do is just kind of thread it on. We're going to torque it after we get the brake back on. Now go ahead and clean and reinstall your rotor and install the T30 bolt. Now we can reinstall our caliper bracket. Two 18mm bolts, we need to go ahead and torque those to 133 foot-pounds. You can cut the zip ties holding up the caliper and install the caliper. Tighten up these 12mm bolts. Now you don't want to over tighten these because they will snap. And I tighten them to 37 foot-pounds. You need to torque that front axle nut, so you can put your screwdriver in one of the vanes of the disc, and then we're going to torque this to 192 foot-pounds. Now depending on where you look, this ranges anywhere from 185 to 192. Might just depend on your model. Go ahead and put the wheel back on. I'm just going to snug them up with the electric ratchet. And the lug nuts to 140 foot-pounds. And that's all there is to it, guys. Congratulate yourself on doing this all on your own in your own garage. You didn't have to take it to a dealership, pay a bunch of money, and wait for your vehicle to come back. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.